everyone, Tim Schofield here, and Google I/O is this week, and they announced a few different hardware devices, including a tablet, a foldable phone, and their budget lineup, the Pixel 7a. And I have to say, it's great that Google has filled out their hardware lineup with their Pixel Watch, a tablet, a foldable phone. They've got earbuds and obviously phones as well. Anyways, the phone and tablet come out a little bit later on, so I will be making videos on both of those devices, so click that subscribe button so you're notified when those go live. But in the meantime, we're gonna take a look at their budget device, the Pixel 7a. Oh wait, just kidding, this is the Pixel 7. We are gonna look at the new Pixel 7a. I grabbed the Pixel 7 for a good reason because they are very similar. They do have very similar specs and price points. So the Pixel 7a is $499 at launch. Right now, if you order it, you can get $50 gift cards to different places. I will link to those down below. With that being said, even the Pixel 7, you can potentially get it at the $499 price point. Right now, it's a little bit higher than that, but sometimes it's on sale for a little bit lower. But anyways, let's dive into it, unboxing, see what comes inside the Pixel 7a, then get some hands-on with this new phone from Google. Let's get started. Here's the new Pixel 7a from Google. Fairly small box overall. Let's peel these. There we go. Opening up the box. First thing is that Pixel 7a. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this color. It's actually really clean. Let's see if I can get it in the shot. Yeah, okay. There's my shirt. I tried to match it. Pretty close. Not too bad. So this is the C color from Google. We're gonna set the phone to the side for just a second, continue through. So it does come with an adapter, USB Type A female to USB Type C male adapter, plus a charging cable, which is USB Type C to USB Type C. The 7a can charge up to 18 watts with wired charging. It also does include wireless charging, so that's a nice addition at 5 watts. Anyways, here's our SIM ejection tool. And finally, last thing is just a getting started guide and warranty information. And on to that 7a. Lets you know there's an in-display fingerprint scanner. Peeling that off, we're gonna boot the phone up for the first time. And while it boots up, we're gonna take a closer look at the hardware of this budget device from Google. Down at the bottom, slot for a microphone, USB Type-C port, one of our speakers. Moving along on the right side here is our volume rockers and power button. Make note, there is just a very, very small bump for the camera. So this bar sort of protrudes out just a tiny bit. Up towards the top, you just have another microphone. Moving along, on the left side is where your SIM card slot is. Nice that Google's still including SIM card slots. Anyways, on the back, just a very subtle G, and here is our camera bar with our dual camera system. So this has a 64 megapixel wide angle lens and a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. Just a quick look between the 7 and the 7a, because the bar on the 7 definitely protrudes out a decent amount more than it does on the 7a. Also worth mentioning, this is a 50 megapixel main sensor and 12 megapixel wide angle lens on the 7. Anyways, now that our 7a has booted up, I'm gonna run through the startup process, just talk about anything that's noteworthy. Actually, it is noteworthy. You can download an eSIM on this device, so you can use physical or eSIM. Let's set up our fingerprint sensor. Scrolling down lets you know how it works and talks about security of your fingerprint. Anyways, setting it up, let's hit start and just set our thumb on down. I will make a mention when I was typing on the keyboard and also setting my finger down, the vibration motor feels really nice, actually, especially at a mid-range device. Sometimes it can be a little hit or miss with how, premium it feels, but this one does feel very premium. So shout out to Google for including a solid vibration motor with haptic feedback. Finishing this up, there we go. All set up, ready to go. We can add another. We're gonna skip on through. You can set up face unlock. You know what? Why don't we do that as well? So you can have both at the same time. It's nice. Maybe you're not looking at your phone. You can unlock it with your finger and vice versa. Always tough with the camera in front of me, but here we go. Up. It worked. Okay, so we'll test both of those out a little bit later on in the video. And we are all set. Swipe up to go home. And here's that 6.1 inch display. This is a 1080p OLED display. And the difference between the 7a and the 6a is that the 7a now has an option to go up to 90 hertz from 60 hertz. So looking at some motion to my eye, it doesn't look like it's enabled out of the box. It looks like it is at 60 hertz. So let's jump into display settings, scroll down, and yes, smooth display was not checked. To do so, just go ahead and check it, and this will change between 60 and 90 hertz depending on the type of content shown. It looks a lot smoother. 60 hertz will save more battery life, so it's up to you if you want to go with battery life or just a smoother experience. It's really nice to have at least 90 hertz. It's hard to go back to 60 hertz, honestly. Grabbing the Pixel 7 in comparison, you'll see it's just a little bit bigger, 6.3 inches versus 6.1 inches, and that's just about the only difference you'll see in terms of the screen. Both phones have the same Tensor G2 chipset, so same performance on either one. And in terms of battery life, I expect it to be very similar. I believe you get a 30 milliamp hour difference bigger on the 7A, which is really not very much. So I expect very similar battery life out of the two phones. Anyways, a big reason to get a Pixel device is the camera, and there is an update available for the camera, but we're just gonna snap a couple quick pictures, check out the shutter speed. Overall, seems to be pretty snappy. And I will say, it's crazy how good of images these phones produce. A lot of post-processing is done from Google, especially because some of the pictures taken on Pixel phones turn out as good as other flagship phones that have better hardware. So it's very clear Google has done a great job with their software. One thing I'm noticing with the 0.5 times zoom, this is a little bit different than the Pixel 7. The Pixel 7, actually, I'm just gonna do it live, has only 0.7 times. So you get a little bit more in the shot with the 7A than you do with the 7. So just a little bit difference with the ultra-wide angle lens. And with that being said, I wanna point out that I believe the main sensor on the Pixel 7 is a little bit larger, so a little bit more light can get in for low light photography. I'll have to do some testing. I expect some of the shots to be pretty similar overall between the two devices. Anyways, other modes, long exposure to sort of blur any motion going on, night sight for the processing of a shot in very low light scenarios, portrait mode, video, which I believe you can shoot all the way up to 4K. Yes, 4K 4K 60 frames a second. That's kind of nice on a budget device. I didn't actually expect that. Modes, panorama, photosphere, and lens. Quickly, let's test that in-display fingerprint scanner. Google has definitely improved theirs over time, and this one's no different, seems to work really well, work how it should. One thing, I definitely recommend turning on always on display so that there's a little outline for the fingerprint spot, because with the screen off, you can't actually set your finger down and it will unlock. You have to actually have the screen on or always on display on. Also, let's test that face unlock. I'm looking at it, unlocks right away. One more time, you'll see that padlock unlocked by face. We're good to go. Since this is a Pixel device, you get updates first. You get Pixel specific features such as now playing. One of my favorites to let you know what song is playing in the background. You can customize your complete style, all the colors that you'd like. Going down, there's a bunch of gestures as well right here, including flip to one-handed mode, press and hold the power button, just a bunch of different gestures to manage your device. One final note, this has an IP67 rating, so not as dust and water resistant as an IP68 rating on the Pixel 7. But that's just about it. That would be the brand new Pixel 7a, Google's latest budget device. Drop a comment, let me know what you think if you're picking one up. Again, there are some deals right now if you are ordering one to get it at an even lower price. And, you know, assuming these are the same price, drop a comment, let me know if you'd rather have the Pixel 7 or the Pixel 7a. A lot more content coming soon. Like I said, Pixel Fold, Pixel Tablet as well. So be sure to click that subscribe button. And as always, be sure to give it a thumbs up as well. As always, thanks for watching.